The distant stars twinkled peacefully through the main viewport of the Star Wanderer as Captain Thomas Reed completed his usual walk around the bridge. The merchant vessel had been his home for the past 5 years, and he knew every creak, hum, and whisper of its systems. Today, something felt different. The ship's background noise had changed slightly, almost too subtle to notice, but Reed had learned to trust his instincts. "Jack, run a quick scan of the surrounding space," Reed called out to his systems analyst. "Something doesn't feel right." Jack Wilson looked up from his console, his fingers already moving across the holographic display. "Captain, though, we haven't seen anyone else out here in weeks. We're pretty far from the usual trade routes." The Star Wanderer carried valuable cargo, experimental quantum computers and advanced AI modules, being transported to the outer colonies. Reed's crew was small but efficient, 15 of the best engineers and traders humanity had to offer. They had made this run dozens of times before without any problems. "Captain," Jack's voice cracked with sudden urgency. "Large object just dropped out of faster-than-light travel. It's massive, sir. At least 3 times our size." Reed's heart skipped a beat, but his voice remained steady. "Show me." The main screen flickered to life, displaying a sleek, predatory-looking vessel. Its dark hull seemed to absorb the starlight around it, making it look like a hole in space. The design was like nothing Reed had ever seen before. "All hands to stations," Reed ordered through the ship-wide comm. "Chief Martinez to the bridge immediately." The alien ship's presence triggered a flurry of activity throughout the Star Wanderer. Chief Engineer Anna Martinez arrived on the bridge moments later, her dark hair still messy from working in the engine room. "What are we looking at?" she asked, studying the screen with intense focus. Before anyone could answer, the comm system crackled with an incoming transmission. The voice that came through was artificially smooth, speaking perfect English with an unsettling lack of emotion. "Human vessel, this is the Dominion warship Eternal Victory. Your presence in this sector is unauthorized. Your technological level has been assessed and deemed insufficient for safe operation of a starship. Prepare to be shut down." Reed exchanged glances with his bridge crew. "This is Captain Thomas Reed of the merchant vessel Star Wanderer. We're on a registered trade route and carrying authorized cargo. Please state the nature of our violation." A harsh laugh came through the speakers. "Captain Reed, your entire species is the violation. We have observed your rapid technological advancement with growing concern. Humans are too aggressive, too unpredictable to be trusted with advanced technology. We are the Dominion, guardians of civilized space, and we have decided that humanity must be contained." Martinez moved closer to Reed, speaking in a low voice. "Captain, I'm detecting energy buildup in their forward section. Whatever they're planning, it's not going to be friendly." Reed straightened his uniform. "Dominion vessel, we have no hostile intentions, but we will defend ourselves if necessary." "Defend?" The alien voice sounded amused. "Oh no, Captain. We have no intention of destroying your ship or harming your crew. That would be uncivilized. We have a much better solution." The energy readings from the alien ship suddenly spiked. Before Reed could give any orders, a brilliant purple beam lanced out from the Dominion vessel, enveloping the Star Wanderer in its glow. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, one by one, systems began shutting down across the ship. Navigation, weapons, shields, propulsion, everything went dark. Even the emergency backup systems failed to respond. "Martinez, what's happening?" Reed demanded, watching helplessly as his ship died around him. The chief engineer's fingers flew across her tablet, one of the few devices still working. "They're using some kind of targeted electromagnetic pulse, but it's like nothing I've ever seen. It's not just shutting things down, it's rewriting our systems at a fundamental level." Her voice was grim. "They're locking us out of our own ship." The Dominion voice returned, now tinged with satisfaction. "Your vessel has been neutralized, Captain Reed. Don't worry. We've left your life support systems functioning at minimal levels. A rescue beacon will activate in exactly 30 days, giving you time to reflect on humanity's place in the galaxy. Consider this a lesson in humility." The alien ship began to turn away, its message delivered and its mission apparently complete. Reed gripped the arms of his captain's chair, his knuckles white with tension. Options? He asked, looking around at his crew. Jack spoke up first, his eyes glued to his tablet. Sir, something strange is happening with the quantum computer core we were transporting. It's still partially active, operating on its own internal power supply. And there's something else, the alien shutdown pulse. It did something unexpected when it hit our experimental AI modules. Martinez rushed to Jack's station, looking over his shoulder at the readings. Her eyes widened. Captain, I think the pulse may have created an unintended bridge between our technology and theirs. The quantum core is picking up echoes of their systems. Like they accidentally created a connection when they tried to shut us down. Reed leaned forward, a glimmer of hope sparking in his mind. Can we use it? Martinez was already pulling up schematics on her tablet. The alien pulse was designed to shut down conventional systems, but our quantum core operates on completely different principles. They might not have accounted for that. If we can understand what happened during the shutdown, we might be able to... She trailed off, lost in calculations. Jack picked up her thread of thought. Their overconfidence might have given us an opening, sir. They thought they were dealing with simple human technology. They never considered that their attack might actually give us access to their advanced systems. Reed stood up, looking around at his crew. In the dim emergency lighting, he could see determination replacing fear in their eyes. The aliens had meant to teach humanity a lesson about their limitations. Instead, they might have just given them the key to something extraordinary. How long? Until the life support starts becoming critical? Reed asked. About 72 hours at current consumption rates, Jack replied. Reed nodded. Then we have 72 hours to prove those aliens wrong about humanity. Martinez, Jack, gather anyone who can help. I want options on my desk in 2 hours. The Dominion thinks they shut us down. Let's show them what humans do when backed into a corner. As his crew rushed to work, Reed stared out at the stars through the darkened viewport. The Dominion had called humans aggressive and unpredictable, treating these qualities as weaknesses. But Reed knew better. Those same traits had driven humanity to survive and thrive against impossible odds throughout their history. The aliens had handed down their judgment from a position of smug superiority, never imagining that their attempt to humble humanity might instead give them unprecedented access to advanced alien technology. As Reed watched his crew spring into action, already adapting and planning despite their apparently hopeless situation, he allowed himself a small smile. The Dominion had tried to teach humanity a lesson, but they were about to learn one themselves. Never underestimate a species that turned every major setback in their history into a stepping stone for advancement. The Star Wanderer might be down, but its crew was far from out. Engineering Bay. The emergency lights cast a dim red glow across the Star Wanderer's main engineering bay as Ana Martinez stared at the holographic display floating above her workstation. She had been studying the readings from the quantum computer core for 6 hours straight, and something wasn't adding up. The numbers suggested possibilities that seemed too good to be true. Jack, come look at this, she called out to Wilson, who was working nearby. Am I going crazy, or are we seeing actual alien code bleeding through our systems? Jack moved to her station, his eyes widening as he studied the data streams. The quantum core's display showed 2 distinct patterns of information flow, one that followed their familiar human programming architecture, and another that seemed to operate on completely different principles. It's like... Jack paused, searching for the right words. It's like their shutdown pulse created a bridge. When they tried to rewrite our systems, they accidentally created a two-way connection. We're not just seeing their code, we're getting glimpses of how their entire technology works. Martinez pulled up another display, this one showing the ship's power distribution network. Most systems were dark, but the quantum core glowed with a faint yet steady pulse of energy. More importantly, tendrils of that energy were slowly spreading through the ship's neural network, following paths that shouldn't have existed. Get the captain down here, Martinez said. He needs to see this. A new Discovery Captain Reed arrived minutes later, looking tired but alert. The past day had been rough on everyone, with the crew working in shifts to restore their ship's systems. The recycled air was already starting to feel thin. "Tell me you have something," Reed said, moving to stand between his chief engineer and systems analyst. Martinez nodded. "We think we figured out why the quantum core survived their attack. The Dominion's technology operates on quantum principles. 2 very advanced ones. When their pulse hit us, instead of shutting down the core, it created a kind of quantum entanglement." "In simple terms?" Reed asked, rubbing his temples. Jack stepped in. "Their overconfidence backfired, sir. They tried to force their technology into our systems to shut them down, but they didn't account for the experimental quantum core. Instead of being locked out, we've been given a back door into their technological architecture." Reed leaned closer to the display, watching the strange patterns of energy flow. "Can we use it?" "That's where it gets interesting," Martinez said, her voice rising with excitement. "The quantum core isn't just accessing their technology, it's learning from it. And because our AI modules were connected to the core during the attack, they're evolving in response to the new information. It's like we've been given a Rosetta Stone for understanding their entire technological base." She pulled up another display, showing a simulation of what they had discovered. "Their systems are incredibly advanced, but they're also rigid. They've optimized everything to the point where there's no room for adaptation. But our technology, especially the experimental AI, is built to learn and evolve. We're not just looking at their technology," Jack added. "We're improving on it. The AI is finding ways to combine their quantum engineering with human innovation. If we can fully integrate these insights into our system, we could do more than just restart the ship." Martinez finished his thought. "We could upgrade it beyond anything the Dominion has ever seen." The plan Reed straightened up, a spark of hope igniting in his eyes. "How long?" Martinez and Jack exchanged glances. "The integration process is already happening at a quantum level," Martinez said. "But to safely implement these changes throughout the ship's systems, we need at least 48 hours. Maybe less if we get the whole crew involved. We have 60 hours until life support becomes critical," Reed reminded them. "What do you need?" "Teams," Martinez said immediately. "We need to split the crew into groups, some to help implement the changes, others to monitor for potential problems. The quantum core is stable, but we're fundamentally altering how our ship works. One mistake could fry every system we have left." Reed nodded. "You'll have everything you need. But first, explain to me exactly what we're attempting here. I need to know what I'm risking my crew for." Jack pulled up a new diagram, this one showing the Star Wanderer's basic systems architecture. The Dominion's attack gave us access to their quantum engineering principles. Their technology is incredibly advanced. They can manipulate matter and energy in ways we've only theorized about. But they use it in very predetermined, inflexible ways. "Our advantage," Martinez continued, "is human creativity. We're taking their quantum engineering and applying it in ways they never considered. The AI is already showing us possibilities that would probably horrify them with their inefficiency, but they'll work. We're not just copying their technology, we're reimagining it." Reed studied the diagrams, noting how the proposed changes would affect every system on the ship. "And you're certain this will work?" "As certain as we can be," Martinez replied. "The principles are sound. The quantum core is proof that the integration is possible. We just need to scale it up." "Do it," Reed ordered. "I'll divide the crew into teams and get everyone briefed. How should we start?" "The upgrade begins. For the next several hours, the Star Wanderer's crew threw themselves into the work. The ship's corridors, dim and cold from the power shutdown, buzzed with activity. Teams of engineers and technicians moved from section to section, following Martinez's carefully planned integration sequence. The process was unlike anything they'd attempted before. They weren't just repairing systems, they were rebuilding them from the quantum level up. Using principles that merged human ingenuity with alien efficiency, the ship's AI grew more sophisticated by the hour, processing the quantum data and guiding them through changes that would have seemed impossible just days ago. Some of the crew voiced concern about the radical nature of the modifications. But as the hours passed, even the skeptics couldn't deny what was happening. Their ship wasn't just coming back online. It was becoming something new, something the Dominion had never anticipated. And if they pulled this off, the Star Wanderer wouldn't just escape. It would be reborn. Systems that had been completely dead began showing signs of life, but in entirely new ways. When tested in isolated sections, the power grid displayed capabilities that defied their previous understanding of physics. "It's beautiful," Martinez whispered, watching the test results roll in. "Look at how the quantum fields are integrating. The Dominion thinks their technology is perfect because they've optimized everything. But they don't understand. Sometimes the most elegant solution isn't the most efficient one on paper. Sometimes you need to think sideways." Jack nodded, monitoring the AI's progress. They've probably been using the same designs for centuries, never considering alternatives because they already work perfectly within their understanding. But the AI isn't constrained by their assumptions. It's finding connections they never imagined. As the 40-hour mark approached, the changes became more visible. Sections of the Star Wanderer's hull had begun to exhibit strange properties, shifting and flowing at a microscopic level. The neural networks controlling ship systems were growing, more complex, developing new pathways that defied conventional engineering. The crew wasn't just repairing their ship, they were pushing the boundaries of what was possible, combining human determination with alien technology in ways the Dominion had never dreamed of. And as they worked, none of them noticed the faint rhythmic pulses of energy emanating from the quantum core, rippling out into space like a beacon of things to come. A new dawn, the Star Wanderer's engine room hummed with an entirely new frequency, a vibration that resonated in the bones of everyone present. Martinez stood before the main control panel, her hands hovering over the holographic interface. Intricate alien-looking symbols had sprouted alongside the familiar human controls. The quantum core pulsed with a deep blue light, casting shifting shadows across the room. "Final systems check," she called out. "Jack, how's the AI integration?" "Looking." Jack's fingers danced across his tablet, which now displayed data in ways that would have been incomprehensible just 2 days ago. "The merger is stable. The AI has fully adapted to the quantum architecture. He trailed off, shaking his head in disbelief. "It's incredible, Anna. It's not just processing information anymore. It's predicting quantum states before they occur." In the past 12 hours, the ship had undergone changes that defied everything they thought they knew about spacecraft engineering. The hull had developed an almost organic quality, microscopically repairing itself and adjusting its structure in response to stress. The power grid had evolved into something more like a living nervous system than a traditional energy distribution network. Martinez activated her comm. "Captain, we're ready for the first full power test, but you should know, the simulations suggest this is going to be more than just getting our systems back online." Reed's voice came back, clear and steady. "Different how?" Martinez hesitated before answering. "The quantum integration has changed everything. The AI isn't just running the ship anymore, it's become part of it. And the hull modifications we've made..." She exhaled. "Sir, I don't think we're flying a normal spacecraft anymore." There was a brief silence before Reed responded. "We passed normal the moment the Dominion tried to shut us down. Proceed with the power-up sequence." Martinez took a deep breath and placed her hand on the main control panel. The holographic interface flared to life, its web of light spreading across her fingers. "Beginning full system activation in 3, 2, 1. She pressed her palm flat against the panel. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, like a wave of liquid light, energy surged through the ship's new quantum networks. The hull resonated, with a deep tone, a sound that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Displays that had been dark for days blazed to life, showing readings that should have been impossible. Reed's voice cut through the comm. "Status report?" Jack stared at his screen, his voice filled with awe. "Sir, all systems are online." He swallowed. But these readings, the quantum core isn't just powering the ship. It's rewriting the local laws of physics. He turned to Martinez, his eyes wide. We're generating our own quantum field. A new reality, like a bubble of altered space-time. The Star Wanderer shuddered, not from mechanical strain, but from the very fabric of space around it flexing and rippling. Through the viewport, the stars seemed to shift and dance as the quantum field stabilized. Martinez to bridge, the chief engineer called. Captain, you need to see this. Reed arrived just in time to witness something extraordinary. The hull, it wasn't just self-repairing anymore. It was adapting. Every bit of radiation, every micrometeor impact, Martinez said, voice tight. With awe, the ship is learning from them, improving its structure at the quantum level. Reed turned as his command chair adjusted itself, the metal flowing like liquid before solidifying in a perfect ergonomic form. Across the bridge, displays and controls shifted to optimal positions on their own. Jack's voice crackled with excitement. Sir, the AI, it's not just predicting quantum states anymore. It's manipulating them. He hesitated. I think we can generate quantum shields, create localized time dilation effects, maybe even manipulate gravity itself. Martinez's hands flew over the controls, running diagnostic after diagnostic. The Dominion's technology could do all of this, she admitted, but they only used it in pre-programmed, inflexible ways. By letting our AI evolve naturally, we've created something entirely new. The ship isn't just using quantum effects, it's actively experimenting with them. A sudden alarm cut through the air. Energy spike detected, Jack called. Something's happening with the weapon systems. On the external monitors, the ship's conventional weapon arrays had undergone the same transformation as everything else. What had once been simple railguns and plasma torpedoes were now something else entirely. The weapon ports rippled with quantum energy, ready to fire projectiles that existed in multiple states simultaneously. Reed exhaled slowly. We need to test everything, he ordered, but carefully. Martinez, Jack, start with defensive systems. I want to know what we're capable of before we try anything aggressive. Evolution in motion. The next few hours were a blur of tests and discoveries. Each system revealed new, almost terrifying capabilities. The quantum shields could predict and counter attacks before they happened. The engines could bend space-time, allowing for maneuvers that violated normal physics. Even the life support system had evolved, actively promoting healing and enhancing human performance. It's like the ship is alive, one of the junior engineers whispered, watching the hull shift and flow to maintain optimal structural integrity. Martinez nodded, understanding exactly what he meant. The Star Wanderer had become something more than a ship. It was a fusion of human ingenuity and alien technology, guided by an AI that thought in quantum possibilities. Every moment brought new improvements, as the ship learned and adapted. Then Martinez caught something in the latest readings and her breath hitched. Captain, she called out, I think we're ready for a full capability demonstration. Reed turned. But? She hesitated. Sir, the quantum field we're generating? It's not just affecting us. It's reaching out, trying to connect with other quantum-capable systems. A quiet settled over the bridge. The implication was clear. If the Dominion came back, they wouldn't just find a repaired vessel. They would find something transformed. Reed's lips curled into a slow, grim smile. Good, he said, let them come. The Star Wanderer hung in space, its hull shimmering with subtle patterns of quantum energy. It looked nothing like the merchant vessel that had been ambushed days ago. The Dominion had tried to shut them down, thinking they were dealing with primitive human technology. What they had actually done was catalyze an evolutionary leap in human engineering. All stations, Reed commanded, stepping forward. Prepare for full systems test. Across the ship, the crew took their positions. The quantum core's pulse deepened, sending waves of energy through the vessel's transformed systems. The Dominion had sought to humble humanity by proving their technological inferiority. Instead, they had given them exactly what they needed to surpass them, a glimpse of superior technology. and the freedom to reimagine its possibilities. The Star Wanderer wasn't just back online. It had become something unprecedented in the galaxy, a vessel unrestricted by convention, a ship that thought, and soon, the Dominion would learn exactly what that meant. The Dominion's lesson, a subtle vibration, ran through the Star Wanderer's bridge as the ship's sensors detected an incoming faster-than-light signature. The crew had been waiting for this moment. For the past 12 hours they had run drills, tested systems, and prepared for the inevitable. Now they would see if their transformation could stand against the very aliens who had triggered it. Dominion warship dropping out of FTL, Jack announced from his station. Same vessel as before. They're probably here to check if we're ready for pickup. Reed sat calmly in his command chair, watching as the massive alien ship materialized against the starfield. But this time, the Star Wanderer was different. Their quantum-enhanced sensors laid bare every detail of the Dominion vessel. Its power, signatures, weapon systems, shield frequencies, information that had been hidden from them during their first encounter. "They're scanning us," Martinez reported from engineering. "But our quantum field is distorting their readings. They can't get a clear picture of what we've become." The comm system crackled to life with the same artificially smooth voice they had heard days ago. "Human vessel Star Wanderer, this is curious. Our sensors detect power signatures from your ship. This should not be possible." Reed allowed himself a small smile. "Dominion vessel, this is Captain Reed. We've made some improvements since your last visit. Would you like a demonstration?" A pause. Then the alien voice returned. This time, tinged with something like unease. "Your species continues to demonstrate concerning levels of unpredictability. Explain how you have restored power to your systems." "Why don't you scan us again?" Reed suggested. "This time we'll let you see exactly what we've done with your generous gift." The Star Wanderer's quantum field shifted temporarily, allowing the Dominion sensors a clear view of the ship's transformation. The reaction was immediate. Alarms blared through the open comm channel as the aliens processed what they were seeing. Impossible. The artificial smoothness of the voice cracked. "You have corrupted our sacred technologies. Your primitive minds cannot comprehend the dangers of such reckless modification. Stand down immediately, or we will be forced to take more permanent action." Reed looked at his crew. He saw no fear, only determination. "We gave you a chance to retreat," he said. "Remember that." Then he closed the comm channel. Battle stations. The crew moved with practiced precision. The Star Wanderer was no longer a helpless merchant vessel. It was something new. "Let's show them what humanity does with a little technological inspiration," Reed ordered. The Battle of the Star Wanderer, the Dominion ship, fired first. Barrage of energy beams lanced toward them, enough firepower to vaporize the Star Wanderer in its original form. But the ship was no longer bound by traditional physics. The quantum shields reacted before the beams were even fired, predicting the attack and bending space itself to deflect the energy. The deadly blast passed harmlessly through empty space where the Star Wanderer had been mere microseconds before. "Return fire," Reed ordered. "Non-lethal demonstrations only. Let's be better than them." The ship's transformed weapons came to life, but instead of conventional energy beams or projectiles, they fired concentrated bursts of quantum probability. The Dominion shields were useless. The quantum bursts existed in multiple states, passing through the shields as if they weren't there. Because in some quantum states they weren't. The alien ship's engines flickered, then sputtered, then died completely. More shots followed, each one precisely calculated by the AI, not to destroy, but to disable. "They're launching fighters," Jack called out. A swarm of sleek black Dominion craft erupted from the warship, their formations flawless, their movements precise. But they were following predetermined tactical patterns the Star Wanderer's AI had already analyzed and countered. "Activating point defense system," Martinez announced. The Star Wanderer's hull rippled, shifted. Then, like an organism adapting to a threat, new weapon emplacements formed from quantum energy, taking shape where they were needed most. The defenses fired not lasers, not missiles, but bursts of localized time dilation. The Dominion fighters never stood a chance. One by one, they became trapped in tiny, fluctuating pockets of slowed time. Their perfect, rigid formations became their perfect prison as the universe itself betrayed them. They had come expecting a crippled human vessel. Instead, they had encountered something beyond their comprehension. Reed leaned forward. "Open a channel," he said. The Dominion's voice returned, now devoid of arrogance. "What have you become?" Reed exhaled slowly. "Something new," he said. The Star Wanderer hung in space, its hull shimmering with the energy of its evolution. The Dominion had sought to teach humanity its limits. Instead, they had given them the key to surpassing them, and the lesson was far from over. The turning point. "Their main ship is preparing something big," Jack warned. "Energy readings are off the charts." On the viewport, the Dominion warship's hull split open, revealing a massive weapon. Reed felt a flicker of recognition. It was the same type of shutdown pulse they had used before, but this time it was far more powerful. "They're trying to overload our quantum field," Martinez reported. "But they don't understand. We're not just using their technology. We've evolved beyond it." Reed nodded. "Jack, initiate protocol mirror." The Star Wanderer's quantum field pulsed, once, twice, then expanded outward in a shimmering wave. The Dominion's weapon fired, but instead of striking its target, the shutdown pulse met a perfect quantum reflection of itself. The feedback loop was immediate. The pulse rebounded, amplified by the Star Wanderer's field, and surged back toward the Dominion warship. Alarms blared through the open comm channel. The Dominion vessel went dark, just as they had done to the Star Wanderer days ago. But this time, something different happened. The Star Wanderer's quantum field reached out, connecting with the disabled alien vessel's systems. Jack's fingers flew over his console. "We have access to their network," he reported. "Their quantum cores are compatible with our modified systems." He looked up. "Should we?" Reed gave a firm nod. "Show them what cooperation could look like. Upload our innovations to their secondary systems, life support, engines, basic controls. Let them see what they can learn from us." The crew watched in silence as their quantum algorithms spread through the Dominion ship's systems, rewriting and improving them, just as they had transformed the Star Wanderer. Lights flickered back on inside the Dominion vessel, but now, they pulsed in sync with the Star Wanderer's quantum core. "Incoming transmission," Jack announced. The voice that came through the comm was different now. Humbled, tinged with something that sounded like wonder. "Human vessel. What have you done? To our ship?" Reed smiled slightly. "We improved it," he replied simply. "Just like we improved ours after your attack." A pause. Then the alien voice returned, uncertain. "Your species was meant to learn its limits. Yet you have surpassed them. This is..." The speaker hesitated. "This is not possible." Martinez leaned forward, her voice steady. "Because you only saw technology as a tool, something to be optimized, controlled. We saw it as something that could grow and evolve." Another silence. Then, almost reluctantly, the Dominion speaker admitted, "Our sensors, the efficiency improvements in our systems exceed our most optimized configurations. How is this possible?" "Because we don't just use technology," Reed said. "We reimagine it. Your attack gave us access to quantum engineering, but our creativity let us see possibilities you never imagined." The Dominion warship hung in space, its fighters still frozen in their time dilation fields. Its systems now ran on hybrid human-alien protocols, technologies their builders had never dreamed possible. This was more than survival. The Star Wanderer's crew had just changed the rules of the game. Reed exhaled. "The choice is yours," he said. "We can remove our improvements and leave you to your existing systems. Or..." He let the weight of the moment settle. "You can accept that maybe humanity has something to teach you." He leaned forward. "What's it going to be?" The first step. The answer, when it came, would mark the beginning of a new chapter in galactics history. The Dominion had sought to contain humanity's technological growth. Instead, they had become witnesses to, and now participants in, an unprecedented leap forward. The Star Wanderer floated in the void, its quantum field pulsing gently, a testament to what was possible when human creativity met advanced technology without artificial constraints. Through the viewport, the stars seemed to shine brighter, refracted through the ship's evolving quantum systems. Jack turned from his console. "Their command staff is requesting permission to come aboard," he reported. "They say their lead quantum engineer wants to see our modifications firsthand." Reed exchanged glances with Martinez, who nodded encouragingly. "Grant them permission," he said. He rose from his chair. "Martinez, Jack, you're with me. Let's show our guests what humanity can do when pushed to innovate." A new era. They arrived at the airlock just as the Dominion delegation stepped aboard. The three tall, silvery-skinned beings wore elaborately patterned environmental suits, their posture rigid with discipline. But their leader, First Engineer Vex, couldn't hide his amazement as they walked through the transformed corridors of the Star Wanderer. "Impossible," he muttered, running a scanner along the shifting walls. The ship rippled around them, adjusting subtly as they moved. "You've achieved quantum integration at a cellular level. The ship's structure, it's evolving in real time." Martinez smiled. "That was one of our first breakthroughs. When your shutdown pulse forced quantum principles into our systems, our AI recognized patterns your fixed protocols never explored. We didn't just copy your technology, we let it grow." They reached engineering, where the quantum core pulsed with deep blue light. The Dominion engineers froze, their instruments whirring as they took readings. Vex's artificial voice faltered. "Your quantum field, it's not just manipulating space-time." His gaze darted to his readings. "It's learning from it. Every fluctuation, every interaction. Your ship is actively experimenting with quantum mechanics." Jack pulled up a holographic display of the Star Wanderer's neural network. "That's the difference between our approaches," he explained. "You saw technology as something to perfect and then lock in place. We saw it as something that should constantly improve itself." Vex traced his fingers over the glowing energy patterns, his mind clearly racing. "The efficiency rates we're seeing in your systems," he shook his head, "they exceed our theoretical maximums. But the power consumption, it's orders of magnitude lower than our calculations suggest should be possible." "Because you were calculating based on perfect efficiency," Martinez said. "We found that allowing the system to be slightly imperfect, but able to adapt, actually led to better results. The quantum field compensates for inefficiencies by finding new ways to work with them." Reed watched the Dominion engineers, how their initial arrogance had softened into something else. Curiosity. Wonder. "Your shutdown attempt gave us access to quantum engineering principles that might have taken us centuries to discover," he said. "But it was human creativity that turned those principles into something new." Vex studied the quantum core, his expression unreadable. "And now you've shared these improvements with our vessel." He turned back to Reed. "Why? You could have simply disabled us and left." "Because that's not who we are," Reed replied. "Humanity has always grown by sharing knowledge, not hoarding it. Yes, we can be aggressive. Yes, we can be unpredictable. But those same traits drive us to explore, to innovate, and to reach out to others." The tour continued, with the Dominion engineers growing more animated as they uncovered each breakthrough: the weapons that disabled without destroying, the shields that learned from every attack, the hull that repaired and improved itself. Vex exhaled, slowly. "Our council will need to re-evaluate its position on human technological development." Jack smirked. "You mean they thought they were containing a threat, but really they were just missing out on a golden opportunity?" Vex hesitated. "Yes." His voice was quiet. "That may be exactly what we've done." Martinez stepped forward. "Then change it. The quantum improvements we uploaded to your ship, they're just the beginning. Imagine what we could accomplish if we worked together, combining your advanced principles with our adaptive approach." Vex's posture shifted. Deep thought, internal conflict. Our council has maintained power through technological superiority for millennia, he murmured. This could change everything. Reed met his gaze. It already has. Vex studied him for a long moment. There will be resistance. Many will see these innovations as dangerous, unpredictable. His tone darkened. Just as they saw humanity. Jack folded his arms. Then show them what we showed you. Let them see how quantum systems can evolve beyond their original design. Let them experience what happens when you embrace innovation instead of fearing it. Vex exhaled, nodding. We will consider your proposal. As the Dominion delegation departed, Reed knew this wasn't an ending. This was a beginning. The revolution spreads word spread quickly. Across the galaxy, rumors flew about a merchant vessel that had turned an attack into an evolutionary leap in quantum engineering. Other species, ones that had watched the Dominion from the shadows, began reaching out to Earth's governments. If humans could achieve this level of advancement in mere days, what else might be possible? The crew of the Star Wanderer spent the following weeks documenting and sharing their discoveries. Martinez and Jack worked with scientists from Earth and beyond, refining and safely replicating quantum integration techniques. And the ship itself continued to evolve, every day bringing new possibilities. The next step 1 month later, Reed stood on his bridge. The Star Wanderer hummed around him, its quantum field so advanced now that it anticipated their needs before they even realized them. Jack looked up from his console. Message from Earth Command. They're requesting, we lead the new Joint Species Quantum Development Initiative. He turned, a slow grin forming. The Dominion Council has agreed to full technological cooperation. Reed exhaled in amazement. Then, he nodded. Plot a course for Earth, he said. The ship's engines powered up, the quantum field extending around them like a living thing. As they prepared to jump to FTL, Reed thought back to how far they had come. The Dominion had tried to shut them down, believing they were eliminating a potential threat. Instead, they had sparked a revolution, not just in technology, but in interspecies cooperation itself. The stars stretched and blurred as the Star Wanderer accelerated, its hybrid systems performing maneuvers that defied conventional physics. Humanity had been given a glimpse of the most advanced technology in the galaxy, and in true human fashion, they had reimagined its very foundations. The age of artificial limitations was over. The age of quantum evolution had begun. Epilogue in engineering, Martinez watched the quantum core pulse, now being studied by scientists across the galaxy. Dominion had intended to teach humanity a lesson about their place in the universe. Instead, they had learned something far more important. Never underestimate a species that sees setbacks as opportunities. That turns limitations into stepping stones, and that believes the best way forward is to share knowledge rather than hoard it. The Star Wanderer streaked through space, leaving a trail of quantum possibilities in its wake, a living testament to what was possible when human ingenuity met advanced technology, without fear and without constraints.